Here we go.
Good to go?
Yep.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Iron House podcast. It's your boy Daryl.
And this is Roy.
And today we're going to do a little Q&A.
Yeah.
And we got some questions that we've asked people to send in on Instagram. And we got a few interesting questions. And we just want to, answer your dying questions.
Shall we start with Merel's question before I forget it?
I think Merel had a good question. So I think we can start with that one. Also break the ice, help us get into the flow.
Yeah.
So what was your question again?
So Merel asked, what are you guys' passions outside of the gym?
Passions outside the gym.
We spend a lot of time in the gym. But
A lot of time at the gym.
Not always in the gym.
No, because you and I both, we spend a lot of time here. Because
Yeah.
we're either training a lot or working a lot. Either way, we're here a lot.
Yeah.
And now you live also just like me, just a few minutes away from the gym. So
Basically, yeah.
yeah, the gym exposure is high.
Yeah.
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 What? Let them know. What's your passion out of the gym?
I mean, I like a lot of things. I like playing video games. I like watching anime. I like cars, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So I have quite a few interests outside of the gym.
Quite nice and diverse also. Cars,
Yeah.
gaming, anime.
Yep.
Nice. Any, what's your favorite car? Like all time, what's the best car ever made?
Oh my God! Do you know how hard of
Yeah, I
a question
know,
that
see,
is?
I'm
What's
putting
the
on the
best
spot.
car
Come on.
ever made? My God!
Something has to come up.
Man, it's gotta be something like really cool, but also kind of old school.
Yeah, I knew it. For you, it has to be like a old, probably like a V12 something.
Yeah, probably. Man, this is such a hard question.
Or what's your favorite car? Like, what's top three of your? Do you think awesome car? That's what comes up in your head.
What comes up in my head is probably like a Porsche GT3 and get it with a manual. Like it's such, and the cool thing is it's a modern car, but it's still pretty old school. They're one of the few manufacturers that still like make supercars with a manual option. Most have like totally left that to the side. So I'd probably go with that.
So that way people can tell that you're really a car guy. You're not gonna say like, oh yeah, the Audi e-tron is my favorite car. That's bullshit. Like you're a real car lover.
I don't just like Lamborghinis or Ferraris. I mean, I like those, but I like old school stuff also a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a car guy, but I really do like the Shelby GT500.
Ooh.
That's one of my favorite cars. I've always wanted one. Never gonna get one, but as far as muscle cars go, it's a little bit subtle. It's not too big.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can still fit in most normal parking spots. Has a nice rumble. I think it's a beautiful car. The old ones, not the new ones, not the crazy Cobra ones.
Oh yeah.
But the old ones, like Eleanor.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, that's a nice car.
But just old school cars are just prettier. Like,
Yeah.
Like new modern cars have gotten like too big and they all look the same.
Yeah,
and
look cheap also.
Yeah.
There's some elegance to like the old cars, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
And they sound better.
Yeah. Oh, that's for sure. That rumble, man.
Yeah.
You got to feel it through the seat in your spine. That's
yeah.
But then again, my real favorite like practical car is a Jeep 4x4, like just a Rubicon or something. That's just I always wanted one. That's my favorite car. It's just zombie apocalypse proof. If you need something like when the world goes to hell, you gotta be able to drive over shit. 4x4 is nice.
My favorite practical car would be something like a hot hatchback. Like I drive a Honda Civic myself, and it's just a basic one from 2007. But I really like the Type R from 2018.
I get
They're
you.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Now we know what to put in your Christmas list.
Yeah. Well, if you give me that for Christmas, then I'll stay here forever.
I'll pool all the members. Be like, everyone put in €5 for a few years, and then we'll see how we get there. All right. Passions aside the gym. My passion is, I guess, just if it's not spending time with Fleur, it's business. I like learning about businesses. I like starting businesses or helping people with businesses. I think it's just a very interesting thing to do. There's so many ways to do it, and there's so many levels to experience it. When I'm not working here, I'm working on something else. And if I'm not working on that thing, I'm probably sharing or following someone else's story. But besides that, I also love gaming. For me, it's very therapeutic. I like I like playing like more relaxing games also next to like more intense games, just so I can like ease my mind.
Yeah, I used to like playing multiplayer games more when I wasn't training as seriously, and I just had more, not necessarily more time, just more mental energy for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I haven't touched multiplayer stuff in like years. It's too hectic.
If I go games like for 1 hour in the evening or half an hour, just gotta relax.
Just gotta
get my mind
chill.
off things. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, good first question.
Yeah.
Now we got the ball rolling. We got a few questions on the ground. Let's start with the first one, see how far we get before we make it too long of an episode.
Yeah, so the first question was actually somebody who asked like sort of two questions. So do you guys think wait, can I grab it like this? you guys think there's more carryover from doing strongman first and then getting into powerlifting?
Ooh.
The second one, powerlifting, or first powerlifting and then going into strongman. So it's like, which is better to start off with?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you can answer that question. If you look at just building a strong foundation, I guess it's more practical if you're young to maybe start with strongman so that you have a really strong foundation in just your power capacity, how much load your body can handle, and then make it specific. But the same fucking argument can be made the same way around for powerlifting first.
I think you should start with neither. Because both sports are pretty specific, you know. Yeah. Powerlifting is specific to...
But if you had to choose, which one would carry you over better to... Like, who would end up being a better athlete? Someone who started with powerlifting, then strongman, or is there strongman and powerlifting? Assuming the same levels for each discipline.
Oh, man, that's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Like, what would be better? Then
I don't know. I'm feeling like if you start with a more functional base and you can make it more specific, then you have a really strong foundation that you can narrow down, remove all the noise, and be hyper-focused on applying that strength and skill into like one barbell movement, you know?
Yeah, that's what I tend to agree with. That's why I kind of said, like, just start with neither, you know, just like don't get into a specific sport, just train general and then get specific to if you want to do a specific sport.
And that's why I think strongman would be the right answer because it's a little bit more varied, I guess. It's less specific, it's more functional. There's more...
Yeah, because not every competition does the same things.
Yeah, so I'm thinking more training also, not necessarily competing. Yeah. So if you're doing competition, maybe strongman is more injury prone. So that may be an argument to do powerlifting first.
Yeah, maybe.
But then again, there's no much point doing powerlifting and then strongman because you're not going to really bench press in a strongman competition.
True. So it's more so like just train general and then get specific if you want to do a specific sport.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of if you're not powerlifting for the sake of powerlifting, if you're powerlifting because you're powerlifting for the sport of powerlifting, for competition, for improving in a discipline, then I always choose functional training over everything. True. If you're training for the sake of health or vitality or, you know, not feeling like dog shit when you're 50, then anything that's more functional has my vote unless it's injury prone.
Yeah, and the better your general athletic and training base is in your first couple of years, the better athlete you can become. Because that's something a lot of people do. They go too specific too soon. Yeah. But if you look at like all the great strength athletes, whether it be powerlifting, strongman, weightlifting, they all have like big athletic careers. You know, look at Hafthor Bjornsson. Like he was a basketball player. The same for Brian Shaw. Eddie Hall used to be a swimmer coming up for the Olympic team. And you see the same thing with powerlifters, where they've done mostly team sports in their youth, like nothing strength NFL, related. Yeah. And then they end up in strength sports and they really excel.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of amazing powerlifters happen to be American powerlifters, and Americans from a young age, they start off with either youth volleyball or football. I mean, there's even pee-wee football where you're fucking young. So, you have these kids that are 16 already squatting 200 kilos for reps, and that's super impressive. But there, it's relatively normal to have barbell training young and to be squatting, pressing, and deadlifting at a young age, and you notice these guys. College football players the average college football player is a lot stronger than the average power lifter, you know, in ability to move the barbell. It's just fucking crazy. It might not be on depth, it might not be regulation, but pure power.
Yeah, they're just freaky strong.
It's really impressive what difference it can make if you're training earlier and you start off. Like if I have a son or a daughter and they want to be like, hey, eventually I want to be strong and weight, cool. We're starting when you're fucking 14. We're going to start getting the reps in and start training to make sure that you're ahead. Because I wish someone would have told me when I was 14, like, hey, when you're older, you're going to want a really big squat. Trust me, you're going to want the 300 kilo squat. Like, really? Yeah, trust me, you're going to want to be able to do that.
I'd probably start like even earlier if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I think like Sebastian Orb, the Australian strength coach, is coaching his daughter who's like 8 or something. She weighs like not even 40 kilos. That's super dope.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, don't force your kids into lifting weights.
No, don't force them. Only if they want to. They have to be convinced.
Yeah. But if they want to, then
I'm
all for it.
And I mean, this is I have all the ingredients necessary to indoctrinate my kids at an early age. So,
yeah, that's going to be an easy one.
Yeah, so I think to answer your question, I think I personally would, if I could go back, I would start off with a good strongman foundation to just build up the athletic capacity, and then pivot to something specific, either powerlifting or weightlifting. I think that'll probably give a good transfer with that sense.
Yeah, if I got to choose, I go with the same thing. But if I don't have to choose, I say don't pigeonhole yourself into
just do everything.
Just do it all.
Yeah, be an ultra athlete or a hybrid athlete to do everything.
Yeah.
Who's that? Is it Max Ayeda? That the road ultra athlete. This guy. So his whole idea is that you should be able
I don't
to
know.
like deadlift triple body weight and run a marathon. So best of both worlds kind of idea.
No, isn't that from the guy that like did ultra marathons and also did powerlifting? I don't know what he's called.
It's Max something, I think. I think he wrote the book Hybrid Athlete. I think that's the name of the book. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway,
next question.
Next question is from Fleur.
From Fleur?
Yeah, she asked, what sport would you guys be doing if it weren't strength training?
Ooh. So, did you say strength training or powerlifting? So, specifically not strength training.
Yeah, it says krachttraining. So
okay, so training. Then let's assume it can't be weightlifting or bodybuilding or CrossFit. Let's just, so it makes the question more interesting in that sense.
Yeah, so we throw out all strength sports.
It's like, if I wasn't powerlifting, I'd be weightlifting.
Yeah, we're strongman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably cheating.
I have my answer because, sure, but I'm really curious to yours.
I don't know.
Because you've always been an active person. I mean, before you, like, you've studied, you studied in the sport discipline, right?
Yeah. I went to school to become an outdoor sports instructor.
Exactly, and you canoe or like you kayak and shit. So you're definitely an active person. I think if the barbell was removed from your life, you'd definitely still find a way to be active.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm not sure what I'd be doing. Because in the same time I started lifting, I was also doing some other stuff. I was doing some mountain biking with my dad, doing some running, even did some kickboxing.
The running?
Yeah, actually quite like it.
You kickboxing too?
Yeah, I only did it for like a year,
okay.
Like once a week, but like had so many aches and pains. Eventually, I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Done with this. So what would I be doing?
Was leuk geweest.
Yeah. I know. I think I'd probably be doing like more outdoor sports. I guess.
Or be kayaking.
Yeah. I'd probably try and get really good at that. That seems fun. Because have you ever seen like where they have the slalom at the Olympics, kayaking?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
So where they have these sort of poles hanging over the river, and they got some of them they got to do downstream, some of them they got to do upstream.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's slalom kayaking. Maybe I do that. I don't know.
Okay, nice.
That'd be really fun.
It's definitely hits the adrenaline part of extreme sports.
Yeah, or just like more outdoor sports in general because they're all so much fun.
Yeah, I would definitely do some type of martial arts. Martial arts has always been my first passion. I've been doing martial arts. Well, I stopped when I moved here, but I started doing martial arts when I was, I think, maybe 10. I did karate, I did aikido, I did like jiu-jitsu, I did MMA. I competed also. So I've always loved martial arts. I've always been a much better fighter than I was a powerlifter. That's for fucking sure. But I've always loved martial arts. I've trained. Yeah, we did weapons training when there were seminars and stuff. I would go just to learn a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and. When I was young, when I was like 14 or 15, I was already a big kid. I was already like, 175 to 180, and I was pretty heavy. So I was never allowed to compete against kids my age. So I had to compete against the adults. So every time I competed, my dad had to sign an extra form to be like, well, if your kid dies,
if he dies, he dies.
Exactly. Like, I mean, my dad would always say, "Do not tell your mother," and then we would sign it, and I would get.
That's such a dad thing to do.
And I would get properly like beat. I get my ass kicked because there's no way I was winning. So, and even then, I get my ass kicked completely, and I still go back because I just loved it. At home, I had like all kinds of like weapons to train with, and martial arts. I don't think MMA because I don't need Fleur staring at a fucking broken face and the cauliflower ears and shit. So I probably do jiu-jitsu or something like that.
Yeah, where you don't get like end up with a bloody face.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Fleur deserves better than that, so I'll skip that part.
So,
yeah. Or not, but then again, you do bring a good point. Like outdoor sports, I think are definitely underrated. I think anything outdoor, anything like ski, snowboarding, maybe kayaking, open ocean swimming or something. I think that's really underrated.
Yeah, but it's mostly a Dutch thing because if you go to like France or Austria or like, so if you go to a sports shop here, like you get running shoes or fitness stuff. If you go to a sports store like in the Alps, you can just find normal climbing gear and river sports gear for rafting and kayaking and all kinds of stuff. That's pretty normal there. So it's just we don't have those things in the Netherlands. Like we don't have mountains, we don't have whitewater rivers.
Exactly.
So it's mostly underrated here.
That would be really cool though.
Yeah, but if you go to like France or Spain or Austria or anywhere near mountains or the Alps, like it's pretty normal to do those things.
Yeah.
Or like go hiking and all that kind of stuff.
Actually, now that you say that, I don't know why I didn't think of it first, but maybe even before martial arts, I probably do surfing or bodyboarding or some kind of windsurfing, wakeboarding, anything on the water. That's where I'm most comfortable, most at home. I also started surfing with my cousins and bodyboarding. We were like as young as we could be. We started going, and it's also in nature, but there's a little bit of element of the adrenaline. So like for the speed junkies, so I think that's a good choice too.
Yeah, same thing for kayaking. So much fun. You get to see so many cool places.
It'll be cool if we could do that like with the team, like a team Eitje. Like just go somewhere and everyone has to like learn to kayak and shit. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
but I think
learning to kayak is hard.
Yeah, that'll be too hard to pull off. So that's a shame.
Yeah, you don't learn how to kayak in like a week, and also not 2 or 3 weeks.
No, but not properly anyway.
No,
like so it might qualify technically as yes, you're kayaking, but now you're doing it right. Everything's a skill.
We're gonna move on to the next one.
Next question. Let's go.
Let's do it. Most memorable sport achievement.
Huh. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Most memorable. I guess I was really happy when I deadlifted 270, but I don't really have any sports achievements.
No,
not really.
Huh. I think mine would probably be getting second place.
Yeah,
I can North Barbara Cup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a good win.
Yeah, that was cool.
But most memorable sports achievement? Who asked the question? I'm curious. Because I think it's a really good question.
Wilco Moes.
Okay, Wilco.
You know him?
Yeah, he's a member here.
Yeah, I know he's a member, but I don't know.
You know him too.
I assume you don't know everyone in the gym.
No, there's way too many people to know. I wish I knew everyone's name. In the first few years, we made that a point, but I've given up a long time ago. There's way too many people. Just like 14 Matthijses and just like fucking like there's too many people with the same name too.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone's buddy. Hey, what's up, buddy? You know. No, I don't think I really have any clear sports achievement. I mean, sports has always been an important part of my life, but more as like supplement to everything else I'm doing, just to have a healthy vice or like good habits. But I mean, I competed at SBD Cup once, but no, it wasn't really like great conditions to compete, so I didn't really worry too much about it.
It didn't feel like an achievement because it was just like you just competed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think I have one. I should think about that. I mean,
or maybe you should get one.
Maybe. But I'm focusing right now for life achievements and letting sports be the platform on which I build those achievements.
Speaking about achievements, I think somebody's getting an achievement.
Yeah. See, that's what I love about the podcast, man. It's real deal. We're filming in the gym. People are training and working out, so you hear all the hullabaloo in the background.
I felt it.
Yeah, I felt it too. I felt it through to the seat.
Yeah.
I hope you got it. Make all that noise and interrupt the podcast and miss your lift. Don't do that. No.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
All right. No, I don't got one. I'll maybe I need to think about it a little bit further, but I see sports as the way I make all my other achievements happen. It's not the achievement itself.
Yeah. For me, it's a higher priority for me.
Absolutely, which makes complete sense.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to the next one. We got 2 left.
2? Okay.
This is more so a question for you, I think. What's the hardest and what's the most fun when it comes to owning a gym?
What's the hardest and most fun?
Yeah. Well, 2 things really. Okay. What's the hardest and what was the most fun?
Ooh. How much time you got? It's a long list. Well, look.
Let's pick one of each.
Okay, so let's make it more interesting. What do you think the answers would be? Like the hardest and the most fun thing.
What's the most fun? I can think of a lot of fun things that'd be fun about owning a gym, but like
having your own gym. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, having your own gym.
getting to set up and like buy stuff for the gym that you always want.
Yeah,
because not everyone wants a belt squat. I really wanted a belt squat, so so that's definitely a benefit. What do you think the hardest things are?
Probably the hardest thing, because I've listened to the podcast with you and Fleur about starting up Iron House. Probably just getting it together for the first time probably was the hardest.
That wasn't that hard. No, the hardest part is having to deal with like everyone who thinks they can contribute in some way. So like the thing is, every member has an opinion, every staff member has an opinion, every guest has an opinion. So having to keep everyone happy and having to have a tolerance for people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but think they know better, and then like criticism and stuff like that. So making sure you can stay true to your brand and your vision, even though someone's complaining about something, even though they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, to not have to like give up and then have to explain it to them or give in to people. Like staying true to the plan, that's hard because there's a lot of influences. If you have a business and you sell a product online, there's no FaceTime with the customer. There's no connection there. If you sell an iPhone, like you buy iPhone, you don't see the person who's making it or the person who designed it.
Yeah. You hear about all the people
in the gym. You're always in contact with people. So luckily, we're lucky that almost everyone is happy and pleased and understanding of what we're doing. They're part of the big picture. There's always people who will be like, you should do this. I'm like, you should go back to your day job because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And sometimes you get good advice. Sometimes you get good help. But more often than not, it's people who, I guess, they doubt that you're doing it the right way. And then they really want you to think that you're doing it the right way. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So it's hard to like have that resistance and tolerance for people and also be nice. When someone comes up with like a jackass suggestion, you got to be like, the reason we don't do that is because no one does that. That's not how things work. And then be nice about it because you don't want to, like embarrass customers. Yeah. I think that's the hardest part. The best part in our gym, so I don't think it counts for every gym, but in our gym is the connection you get to make with people. Like how many new friends and like family members you get to make if you do it right. The connections you make with people.
I was expecting an answer sort of like this.
Yeah. I think that's the best part because you can make relationships that will last a lifetime. And I'm still friends with people who haven't been members of the gym for a long time. And some of my favorite people now I've only met because of Iron House. So like for example, my homie Johannes, like he's my ride or die homie, and I only met him because he used to date someone who was a member of the gym.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I met him. He lives in Germany, for God's sake. So, but we're homies, So that's
so cool.
It's a beautiful thing that can happen if you're open to it.
I think that's also the most fun part of working in the gym. Yeah. Working in this gym.
Exactly. Yeah. There's the list of things, the great things about owning a gym or operating a gym is way too long. I will fuck up this SD card before we ever get to the end. It's a really, really long list, and luckily
this week, ladies and gentlemen, a 3-hour podcast.
Exactly. I'll give Joe Rogan a run for his money, and luckily the list of things, the hardest things about running a gym, they're all minimal. Because I think in that sense, for anyone running a business, hard is in the eye of the beholder. Just because something's like difficult doesn't necessarily mean it's hard. Because hard doesn't mean it's difficult. Some things are really complex, but it's just a matter of doing. So you can make things hard or difficult in your head, but I choose not to. I just do what I got to do and get the job done. And then we enjoy building a new body and ordering cute equipment and having fun and getting to plan new products and services and making people happy. That's how we got to do it.
That's a good mentality.
Absolutely. That's the way you win. It's a good questions. Shit. People,
yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. We want to get one left.
One left.
Hold up, because it's in Dutch.
And if you're only listening to this and you can't see us continuously getting shinier and shinier foreheads, it's fucking hot in here.
Yeah, it's really,
like
really hot.
My shins are sweating.
Like my armpits are.
I'm trying not to move too much because I don't want to like set anything off.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh, this is an interesting one. If you were able to speak with a top athlete who isn't alive anymore, who would it be and why?
So an athlete who is no longer alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
A top sporter.
A top sport. Okay, so it has to be probably someone a little bit well known.
I don't know really. I don't follow.
You only follow like living athletes.
Yeah, I don't even follow that much sports. So yeah.
No, you don't. You're not.
No.
You're not like a fan of sports in general. You're just specific.
No, I really don't like watching sports at all.
No, me neither.
I don't even like watching powerlifting.
No, yeah, well, I think most powerlifters can agree on that.
Yeah.
Powerlifting is amazing to do and to participate in and to volunteer at. Not always the most amazing thing to sit there and watch. So I don't think.
But most people would consider, like, for instance, watching races interesting. But even though I like cars, I don't really go to races.
I don't consider race. It's a physical activity, but I don't know if I consider racing a sport. I might be pissing people off. Same as like golf. Like technically, golf is a sport, but is it really a sport?
If you don't think like racing is a sport, you just go karting for 10 minutes and.
No, don't get me wrong. It's super physical, but like when I think sport, I think more of like team sports or contact sports or like a physical skill set sport. Like I think racing it's very physical and it's really really talent and skill based. But I don't know. So let's say it's definitely a sport. I just don't think it's in the same category as rugby or as basketball.
Yeah, okay.
So
that makes sense.
I think you can put golf, archery, racing, and like shooting, for example, all in that more like skill, like heavy singular skill set sports, and it's definitely something different than contact sports or team sports.
Yeah, that for sure.
Okay,
that for sure. But who would you want to speak with? Who isn't alive anymore?
I probably have two people that come to mind. I mean, because they're just big names. Probably Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, he died pretty recently, right?
Yeah. Just because of his like, I don't really give a shit about basketball, but
because he was the guy that died in the helicopter accident.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of anything that's excellence. So whether it's fucking sports or painting, like if you excel to something to such a high degree, if you master something, and the mindset he has to go along with that, like the way he trains and the way he looks at his responsibility to this craft, it just blows my mind. I would love to like just pick his brain and be like, how do you apply that to life? How do you apply it to relationships? How do you apply that to business success? Or
because I've seen some videos about like his mindset and how competitive he was, and like yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah, he takes competitiveness to like a whole nother level. It's like he's super competitive, and if you're competing against him, I think you feel like, okay, he's trying to beat me. He's trying to make me look as bad as possible at basketball.
Even though they're just training.
Yeah, but I think for him on the inside, he's competitive, but he's competitive with like a higher existence or something. Like he's just on another level. So I would love to probably like to pick his brain and talk to him and just see it. You know, I'm curious to how easy it is to shut that shit down. Once you get home, you gotta play with your kids. Because you can't be Mamba mentality all the time.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a big switch.
Yeah. So how do you go from like having to, and you have millions and millions of fans who expect something from you. How do you deal with that part of it, and how do you get home, close the door, and put all the shit aside? Because your kids want daddy; they don't want basketball legend. So I'm really curious to how that happens. Is it just a switch in the head? Is it proactive, or is like a cooling down ritual you have to do? You have to like let go of that first. Is it like so? I'd be really curious to know how that works. Yeah, I think he's also just an amazing athlete. I mean, he gets to such a high level. I mean, most people, like when they discuss who's the greatest basketball player of all time, is usually a toss-up between Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. And then you have the old guys. You have Irving and Bird and all that shit too. But most people would they know those names. So, and if it's not Kobe Bryant, probably Jackie Robinson. You know who that is?
No.
Jackie Robinson is the first African-American to join the Major League Baseball. So they made a movie about him, played by... what's his name? The homie who passed away recently also played Black Panther.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. So Chadwick played Jackie Robinson, and yeah, he was just the first black baseball player.
That's cool.
The first one ever. So like his whole career was just nothing but putting up with shit from people and being discriminated against, and you still got to get on the field. Half the crowd is racist as fuck. They're screaming shit at you, and you still got to play. You're hoping that the pitcher pitches the ball and tries to knock you out with the ball, So, but still keep your head up, keep your mouth shut, and just fucking march forward through all that trash.
Man, it's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, and also, look, you can do that, and also just be a shit baseball player, and just do it because of that. But he was also a great baseball player, so to keep a high level of performance in spite of all that friction. That it seems amazing to me. So I think,
and to be able to push through all that shit.
Exactly. I don't know that just seems like it's doesn't get the credit it deserves. And yeah, I think Kobe Bryant and Jackie Robinson will be my picks. I mean, Jackie Robinson is just in my head iconic as a baseball player, and Kobe Bryant is just he's a G. He's a hell of an athlete.
I've been trying to think of somebody, and I still can't.
Me too. As I'm saying, I'm like, who the fuck else is like past? Because Pele is still alive, right? I think so.
I don't know who that is. So
Pele, like football player,
nope.
Legendary football player. No, okay.
Nope.
You're really not into sports.
I'm really not into sports at all.
It's not a question for
like even if like the Netherlands would get into the finals of the World Cup, I still won't watch it. I don't give a shit.
You know what the thing is with me? I like watching sports when it's in gezelligheid. If someone invites me over because we're watching either the Super Bowl or Formula 1 and there's like there's people, there's drinks and snacks and it's a whole big thing, dope. I'm down. I've never ever sat at home by myself and watched sports. I just don't give a shit. Like, especially like people are probably gonna think I'm weird, but the sport I care the least about is football. Like FIFA.
Yeah, but
I've tried over and over because all my friends like it. So I was like, you know what? Let me follow a team. Let me follow a league. Let's try to get into it. No matter what I did, I could not find myself to give a shit. It's just so unbelievably boring to me. I'd rather watch golf just for the funny commentary instead of watching that. It's just so dull.
I like football the least because so many other people like it. And the less people try to convince me to watch it, the less I want to watch it.
Yeah, and that also hurt the process because everyone was trying to convince me, oh, but you have to watch...
have to watch it.
You have to watch when that team plays. You have to watch when that guy plays. I'm like, okay, and I watch it, and then they get all hyped up. I don't know. It's just not for me. I think we are most likely the exceptions to the rule, but I just don't give a fuck about
probably with how much money most sports earn. So yeah.
But like the thing is, if I watch a baseball game, which most people think is fucking boring, like I enjoy it because it's more of a you never know when someone's gonna get a good hit and someone has to run and catch it. American football is just all pageantry. It's just all just theatrics and it is more commercials than there's fucking sports. So it's funny in that sense.
America.
Yeah. I don't know. No, sports is not really my thing to watch. I think I've watched more documentaries about athletes than I've watched sport matches.
Yeah, because that kind of stuff is cool.
Yeah. I think that was the last question, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Hey, we were able to fill up a half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, good for us.
Nice. With only 6 real questions.
Damn. Well, hey, I guess when you're good at bullshitting and just talking your ass off and not shutting up, it kind of pays off later off in the end in life. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for sending in these questions. I hope we answered them to your satisfaction. We might do this again. So next time we post on Instagram, a little question box, you can send us your questions. You can also comment on this episode wherever we post it. And we'll probably add it to the next episode.
For sure. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and a subscribe. All the good algorithmic stuff. If you'd rather watch the video version of this and see us sweating, try to be cool about it, then you can watch it on YouTube as well. We have a channel there. Also, comment, like, and subscribe. And join us again in maybe next week or the week after for our new episode.
See ya.
Doei.